Hello, everybody. This is Soul Soldier. Hello, everybody. This is Pokemon Tier List Idiot. I am your host, Soul, and today we're going to be doing the tier list of every main series Pokemon game. So, I just had this idea where I just make a shitload of Pokemon tier lists because I'm bored and don't really have anything else to do. So, a little about myself. Going into this tier list, this is pretty much all my opinion. In particular, a couple of these choices are totally my opinion. A couple factors that might kind of stray my vote into ranking these games is I was born in 2000, so I did not grow up playing Generation 2 or 1, so I don't have a lot of nostalgia for those games. So just a disclaimer, if you are fans of the Generation 1 and Generation 2 games, you might be in for a little surprise. So let's just get started, and let's start with the F tier. And probably gonna guess what I'm gonna put in F tier, but let's go Pikachu, let's go Eevee is an F tier. It's an F because, one, Pokemon games are notorious for their replayability, and with Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, there's no real reason to replay the games. Honestly, when I got the game on release and I played through it, I had to take a couple breaks. It wasn't that fun to play through on the first go, and I tried to play through it again, and I just couldn't get through it. Just the catching mechanic, I'll give it, came from Pokemon Go, and it was really just a game to get fans of Pokemon Go into the main line Pokemon games. And I think it was a necessary game to come out to kind of help bridge the gap between main series Pokemon players and Pokemon Go players. But for what it's worth, $60 per game, you're gonna get a lot more value for $40 on any other game. Even pay $60 to get, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, one of the highest priciest games on third-party market. Basically low replayability. Pokemon to each route, too many Pidgey, Rattata, not a lot of variety, all Gen 1 Pokemon. And one of the other biggest things is it's just all of the mechanics are toned down, no held items, no abilities, and it's just kind of bland that way. So yeah, enough about bashing on Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. That's going to be the only game in the F tier, and I'm planning to aim for a good distribution curve. So probably 1 in S, 1 or 2 in A, 1 or 2 in E, and then most of them will be in the B, C, D tier. So for E, this is pretty opinion based, but I'm gonna go with Gold, Silver, and Crystal. I'm gonna make a lot of people angry. People really love Gen 2. So a couple of the things that disclaimer, I have not played this game all the way through. Actually, I did a speedrun of Gold, but that does not really count. And I have played through Heart Gold and Soul Silver, which I think are better games, but the main things that I want to point out are I don't like a lot of the Pokemon that were introduced into Gen 2. A lot of the introduced Pokemon that I do like are only available in the post game, such as Houndour and Larvitar. The difficulty curve, at least, I just found it really. I know I'm not talking about Heart or Gold, Silver, and Crystal. I'm talking about Heart Gold, Soul Silver, but the same difficulty curve and the level curve is still there. And this game really just kind of promotes using a few select Pokemon instead of a whole full team of 6 Pokemon, and it's not really how I like to play the game. I like to have a diverse team of 6 Pokemon. And with these games, I feel like I just go towards the same few Pokemon each time. Your starter, Mareep, is always Pokemon you go get. At least for me. But yeah, while it is a good improvement over Gen 1, I feel like it is also kind of an in-between, or Gen 1 was kind of a broken mess. Gen 2 was a good step in the right direction, but things really didn't start getting honed down until Gen 3 and 4. They did introduce shinies in Gen 2, which I give them credit for, but as it stands right now, it's an E tier. But the Heart of Gold, Silver, and Crystal are still good games. You should go play them. And with that said, let's go to the D tier. With D tier, I am going to put the original where are the original? Well, I don't have them. That's awkward. Unless I'm not seeing them. I really thought I had. Well, I'm gonna edit this real quick. I thought I had it. Awkward. Okay, we are back. Sorry about that. We have D tier, the original red, blue, and yellow. And my reasoning is I did a couple speedruns. It's a very interesting speedrun, and a lot of people do it. It's one of the more kind of accessible speedruns. There's not a lot of RNG manipulation. You just kind of go catch a Nidoran male and you just kind of run with it. Very accessible speedrun. That's how I got into it. And really, these games do not hold up that well. If you're going to replay through Gen 1 Cancer Region, you might as well go play through Fire Red and Leaf Green. Those are the games to go play. But Gen 1 has that charm. It's where it began. It's got all the kind of bad game mechanics that I think puts it a little bit over Gen 2 for me. And like I said, I did not grow up playing Generation 1 or Generation 2. So if you did play these games, you might put them, maybe put red, blue, yellow below gold, silver, crystal. And that's all I have to say. And I think the lineup of Generation 1 Pokemon is better than Generation 2 Pokemon in terms of design and how usable they are. Yeah, that's kind of all I have to say about blue, yellow, and red. Are there any other games going to the D tier? This might not be a good distribution curve now that I think about it. I have a lot more up here. Yeah. So with that being said, let's go to the C tier. I want to put Fire Red Leaf Green. Good improvement over Red Blue Yellow. Definitely the game you should play if you want to go through Kanto again. Couple things, kind of nitpicky. You can't get any Gen 2 Pokemon. There's no day-night cycle, so you can't get Umbreon, Espeon, you can't get Crobat. So a lot of these kind of Gen 1 Pokemon that are kind of not that good don't have that Gen 2 buff that they did. But overall, they did include the Sevi Isles, which is a great addition to the game. I played through them in a Nuzlocke, and it was a lot of fun. And I would recommend this as the definitive Gen 1 game to play. Yeah. And let's go with Generation 3 as a C tier. Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. Pretty good games. My favorite Pokemon, Trico, or one of them, is in this generation. I think here's when the game mechanics kind of honed in. When we still had that special physical split still, but they started focusing on the story, which I liked a lot, but still didn't hold your hand too much. Sprites look pretty good, and it's overall just a good solid game that's definitive of a C tier. In the middle, you still have a good time playing it. And like I said, or I haven't mentioned this, but you might be wondering why Emerald is not separated from Ruby and Sapphire. That's because they're essentially the same game. Emerald's just kind of like the definitive version to play, kind of an upgrade, and that you really get the same type of experience if you play through any of them from a playthrough standpoint. But for what they are, now that I think about it, Emerald did add the Battle Frontier, the great addition to the game. We'll see at the end. I might place it at a B tier, but we'll see with that. I just don't want to have all of them up top. Do any other games should be a C tier? I'm trying to line them up in my head. I don't know. I'm thinking maybe Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. Kind of same type of deal, same game. Good C tier. I think for Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, it's kind of lost the charm of the Gen 3 feeling, kind of upgrading the graphics. And to me, I kind of prefer the pixel graphics on the Game Boy Advance. You know, Sapphire was my first Pokemon game that I played through, and I get a lot more nostalgia playing through Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. But Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire did bring some new stuff to the table, Mega Evolutions. They did give you a legendary, but it was a bit easy. XP share. They did include the Delta episode, which was pretty cool, which kind of had a little post game. No Battle Frontier, that kind of sucks. But yeah, I would also say that Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire are pretty good speedrun games to get into. Not a whole lot of RNG manipulation. You just kind of go through the game, hope for the best. Yeah. Anything else about these? I just think they're pretty solid games. Alright, B tier. I think XY is a B tier. Now with XY, I think it's got the best aesthetic of a Pokemon game to date. I just really like how colorful the game is. Just going through every area, there's a good variety of areas. They didn't introduce a lot of new Pokemon, but they brought back a whole lot of old Pokemon, and so you can really play through the game with a different team each time. And why it's not higher on the list is the story was kind of lackluster. Team player is kind of forgettable. It's kind of short. I heard a lot of people play through the whole game in a day, and yeah, the rivals kind of fell short for me too. But just all the areas are really nice to explore and get a whole, like I said, a good variety. The game is easy with the XP share, but I think making the jump from the DS to the 3DS was pretty good for the graphics. And when you play through Gen 7 and Sun and Moon, you might kind of go back and see it might not have aged as well, but to me it's got a nice charm and a nice region to go with it, and for me that puts it up to a B tier. Alright, and for B this is going to be controversial. I'm going to put Heart Gold Soul Silver. People are going to put this game as S. I'm not on the Gen 2 craze, okay? Like I said with Gold, Silver, Crystal, not a fan of the Pokemon. XP curve, I felt this as a kid. I remember actually level training in the daycare to beat the 8th gym leader with a full team of 6 Pokemon with a variety of types. I didn't have a lot of one type, and to me, the thing that puts it over, Battle Frontier, great. The special physical split, shiny hunting is fantastic in this game for fall odds. A lot of quick easy hunts and a lot of really cool interesting hunts of the Safari Zone. Honestly, with that being said, did I enjoy playing through this game? I played through it twice. I played through it recently. I only used 3 Pokemon and I was still underleveled after battling every trainer. I had Typhlosion, Quagsire, Alakazam, and I don't know, I'm really thinking about switching these two. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be that guy. Maybe play Alpha Sapphire, still in C. I'm gonna be that guy, put it in C tier. It's still a good game. You can still get a lot of fun out of this game, but just playing through it just doesn't work for me. But I think the post game and what you can do with this game really puts it over being like a D for me. And the game does look very good as well, and it kind of honed in on the Gen 4 graphics from Platinum and kind of made the game run a little faster. Yeah. And I think what I said and what I criticized Heart Gold and Soul Silver, it didn't feel right for me to put it above Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. Yeah. Any other B tiers? Again, for Heart Gold Soul Silver, it's not bad enough for me to put in D tier. Alright, we got 4 games left. Wonder how I should go about this. I think for the sake of having a better distribution, I'm gonna put Black and White 2 on B tier. I played through the game once. The story did not interest me as much as some other games. I know I'm big on the story. Some other people might not like the story as much as a factor of how much they like Pokemon. Some people don't care about the story, they care about the gameplay. But to me, the story kind of makes me motivated to play the game and kind of gets me into the whole kind of Pokemon atmosphere. It was Black, White, and Black 2. I just think it was a step down from Black and White. I think the motives kind of went back into the cliche, kind of like take over the world type thing. But I will say that they like Black and like X and Y, they brought back a whole bunch of Pokemon from older games, so you can really just have a new team every time, and it'll still feel pretty fresh. They added in the hard mode, they added in medals, and for that I applaud them, and they kind of expanded the region. And to me, it kind of looked like, when you look at the map, it doesn't look linear, but it is, and that's kind of a nitpick thing. I don't really mind that too much. Yeah, the rival Hugh, I didn't really like him too much, and I should probably play these games again to try and like see if I liked it more the second time. When I played through Black and White 2, I took a break in the middle, came back, and I was gonna do a shiny hunt, and I kind of rushed through the second half, and I got kind of sidetracked about my feelings about the game. So yeah, I think that's a B tier. Let's go to A tier. Diamond, Pearl, and Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum, really solid games. Making the jump from the Game Boy to the DS with a very tall order, and there's a couple hiccups. Diamond and Pearl, pretty slow games. The overall kind of Pokedex of Pokemon to catch really lacked in a couple areas, notably fire types, but Platinum really solved that, kind of honed in and made it a really good game and generation to top off the Sinnoh region. Cynthia, really good. The music is pretty good and memorable for me. When I played through Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum, I was at an age where I pretty much could remember and like actually play the games as a functional human being. And I just played these games so much when I was like 10 and like 9. The story for what it is, I feel like it's one of the better stories. For what it is, Team Galactic's pretty memorable. I will say that the HMs are a bit too much, and yeah, but to me the HMs don't really bring it down that much. The Pokedex added in so much, and they brought a whole lot of Pokemon that were kind of mediocre at best, up to a tier where you could use them in a playthrough and be happy with them. Like Yanma, kind of mediocre, but you can get Yamega. Yamega's a pretty good speedy special attacker, and just like stuff like that, just kind of improving the whole Pokemon lineup, and while also introducing some pretty good Pokemon. The starters, I think Generation 4 is the game where I like every starter. And there's no definitive starter that I like the most out of all three of them. They're that good. The rival, I thought the rival was pretty good. Barry, I just also like the aesthetic kind of region of Sinnoh. And Battle Frontier, big addition. Really like that. Yeah. And then also A tier, I'm gonna put Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, and I'm gonna group this with Sun and Moon too, just because they're just the same game. And to me, that's why they're kind of an A and not S, because it really bamboozled me with the Ultra sequels. Because when I played through Moon, I don't really say I loved the game so much. I played it the whole weekend, and there's just so many Pokemon. they can use, same as like XY, but also introducing some new ones that are pretty cool. I thought all the starters were pretty cool. But the problem is just that the pacing is so slow at the very beginning of the game. Like when you play through it the first time, it's phenomenal. The story is great. You just have a blast. Playing through it again, like playing through Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon a year later, it showed some scars. Not scars, but like the flaws were pretty apparent. Like it takes about an hour to get out of the tutorial in Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, and it's just so slow at the beginning. I feel like also the color palette is washed out for what it is. And for that, I think X and Y has a better color palette. But that doesn't bring it too much lower. The graphics are great. It does lag a lot. But that initial first playthrough really kind of made me enjoy this game for what it is. And kind of re-sparked my love for the game series that X and Y and Omega Ruby Alpha Sire didn't do for me. And yeah, as for post game, Whole Pony Island, pretty cool kind of addition. You got Rainbow Rocket. There's a battle tree, and like I said, like with the Battle Frontier is the definitive kind of post game, and with Platinum, sorry, I'm getting all over the place, but you got the whole second island with Stark Mountain. That's pretty cool to explore. And same with Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, Pony Island. Pretty much all to explore. I guess the second half is. You got Ultra Riding, Ultra Wormhole, space stuff. It's a good game at its core, but it's got a bunch of flaws. A couple of big flaws that kind of keep it from being the best. For me, anyway. And finally, never saw it coming, Pokemon Black and White. I love these games. And this is pretty much my opinion. I just thought the story was phenomenal. It was dark. It was gritty. I liked it. And to me, it gave me a sense of replaying Gen 1 again. All the Pokemon were completely different and new, and it really forced you to experiment and find new Pokemon to use. And with every other game, there's always Pokemon from other generations that you could use. Zubat was in every game, Geodude, possibly Abra. And to me, it felt like people could just kind of go back and just use them and just keep using the same Pokemon over and over again. And these games kind of forced you to not do that. And with that, some of the routes in the later game do get kind of repetitive with the Pokemon, but all in all, I think just like the Pokemon selection is really interesting and nothing like any of the other Pokemon designs we have here. We got Trubbish, very memorable. The starters are a bit lackluster in comparison to starters like Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, and Platinum, but I really do like most of them. And I just am a sucker for Generation 5. And I haven't mentioned this a lot while ranking these, but the music for me is so memorable. When I'm studying for a test, I just pop in Chorus Battle Theme. I know that's Black and White too, but there's Legendary Battle Theme. Driftfield City is a great theme, and it's just got a lot of great music that I enjoy. What's the town? There's some just other great music. It's got kind of techno-y for kind of the black version, and then it's got kind of a somber instrumental for white vision, and I really enjoy those kind of changes. Um, yeah, I think that'll do. That's alright. That was my tier list of every main series Pokemon game to date. I don't know how much I'll be doing this, but I am Soul, and this was the first iteration of Pokemon tier list Idiot. Thank you all very much for watching this kind of how should I put it, low effort, kind of rambly type video. I'm just here to shitpost, and I'm just kind of bored, and we'll see where we go from here. And I should mention this again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you the next time I make a shitty tier list.